Hi, I'm Rev Dr. Terry Gallagher, and welcome back to Come and See, where we explore the hope for the future that's found when our faith guides our use of technology. Today we're going to talk about roofs. It's a funny thing to talk about, you might think about, but roofs in a hotter world play a very important role. You know, the traditional American roof of all black absorbs 90% of the solar energy. And that's one of the reasons that cities, urban areas, are heat islands, because we're absorbing all that energy rather than reflecting it. That same idea, which is called the albedo effect up in the Arctic, is what's making the Arctic warm up twice as fast as the rest of the Earth, because the snow and the ice reflects off the sunlight, but as we warm it up, we expose dark land or dark ocean that absorbs more sunlight and increases the temperature rise. And that's why the Arctic is warming much faster than the rest of us. But that applies to roofs too. So we're here in Germany visiting our youngest son's family, and we thought it'd be a good place to show you some of the ideas that are not that new, but are very relevant. So this field behind me is not a field, it's a roof. That pasture is not a pasture, that's a roof. It's a roof with dirt and soil and plants on it. It's called a green roof. Now, green roofs are really important because, well, they hold some of the carbon in. They don't absorb all of that sunlight. They help manage water. They just make the environment a little bit better. That's one of the solutions to the problems that roofs cause, all right? There's another solution. It's called cool roofs. Cool roofs are made of material that reflect back the sunlight, that put that heat energy back into outer space, just kind of like the snow does up in the Arctic. And so cool roofs are specifically designed not to absorb the sunlight, but to bounce it back. And you look at the numbers that we're going to be showing you, and green roofs and cool roofs are a viable answer, one of many that we have to embrace in order to have a sustainable future for my kids and your kids, our grandkids together. There's another way, and that's solar roofs, all right? That's so important, we're going to devote a whole other segment to it. But the fourth way, which is something to consider, is the combination, which is Tesla's new solar tile roof, where it looks like a regular roof, and yet it absorbs and converts solar into electricity. But today, green roofs and cool roofs, what great ideas. Green roofs are, they're not new. Actually, they go back to sod roofs, all right? They're a little more expensive to initially install. But the thing is, because they don't absorb all that heat, they last twice as long. So there's a big benefit. Cool roofs actually cost about the same or even less than our traditional roofs, and they last twice as long also. And solar roofs, they make the roofs last twice as long because, again, they're not absorbing the heat. It's that solar heat, that intense solar heat, that degrades our roof systems much more than even the weather does. Using the brains that God has given us to live sustainably with the world. What a neat idea. You know, if you remember that passage where Moses encounters the burning bush, right? The first words that God speaks to him out of that burning bush is, "Take off your shoes. You're on holy ground." Someday when we're wise, we'll realize God wasn't just talking about the soil underneath Moses' feet. He was talking about that all God's creation is holy. The soil, even when it's on roofs, the air that we breathe, the water that we drink, the life that we live sustainably with. Someday when we're wise enough, we'll know that God is still speaking to us. Take off your shoes. Live in respect, live in harmony with God's good creation so that our kids have a future. Can we do this? You bet we can do this. It starts as simple as what we put on roofs on buildings and goes involved in the things we've already covered, like the wind and the sun and what we eat. So we'll be back with you again next week with another story from the intersection of when faith guides our use of technology. So come and see. We'll see you further along the path. Take care.
Faith is not in knowing, it's a willingness to learn. And faith is found in loving when there's nothing in return. So come and see, around the bend, look my friend, and what could be? Come with me, come with me. There's so much more to know, so come and see. There's so much more to know, so come and see.